What's going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weir. I love talking about movies and I love collecting movies, which is why we are here today, because today I'm going to update my Blu-ray collection with all of you, show you all the Blu-rays that I've picked up since the last time that I did one of these videos, which I try to do one of these every month or every other month, but I just try to get a stack together. Once I have a good stack together, somewhere between 20 and 40 movies, I try to do a video so I don't get behind, because once I do these videos, I take them and catalog them on the shelves back there. So if you are brand new to my channel and you want to check out all the other movies that I have in my collection back there, well, I've got a whole playlist that will be at the end of this video and in the description if you want to check that out. And finally, if you are brand new here, I would invite you to subscribe to my channel. I've got a ton of Blu-ray update videos. I also have a ton of movie reviews where I talk about all of the latest movies and movies from the past. Just check out my channel. There's a little bit for everyone if you are a movie fan. With all that said, let's update my Blu-ray collection. All right, guys, the first movie off the top is a brand new movie, just came out, and it is The Beekeeper. That's right, that was my best Jason Statham. It wasn't great, I understand that, but it is The Beekeeper. The Beekeeper stars Jason Statham, and he is a beekeeper, but he's also part of a secret organization known as the Beekeepers, but he also keeps bees. Actually, it's a really fun action movie. It's a dumb plot. The idea that he's a beekeeper, but he's also a beekeeper and an assassin beekeeper. I've said the word beekeeper too many times, starting to sound weird to me. But the fact that he does all that shouldn't work. But it's actually a really fun action movie. If you like Jason Statham style action movies where a one-man wrecking crew goes through so many people to try and get justice, or to try and reset the hive, which is what he's doing in this movie, I would highly recommend it to you. I picked it up on 4K because I saw this movie in theaters, did a review for it, really had a fun time with it. Was telling my little brother, hey, you got to check this one out. He never got the chance, and then he was like, hey, it comes out soon and I want to watch it. And I was like, perfect, that's a reason for me to buy it. So I bought it. It arrived here the other day. We sat down and watched it, had a great time. So Beekeeper, I highly recommend it. Next up, we have the movie Her. Her is a movie I've seen one time, and it stars Joaquin Phoenix, and he basically gets into a relationship with AI. I've seen it once. I enjoyed it. I know my wife had seen about half of it. She wanted to finish it. I saw it at Disc Replay, and I was like, we're getting Her. So we now have this, and we will watch it again in the future. Next up, guys, we have Under Siege 2. Now, here's the thing. I understand that most Steven Seagal movies aren't good. I understand that. But I have a love in my heart for Steven Seagal movies made before the year 2000. They're a lot of fun. It's, again, a one-man wrecking crew. Sure, maybe the action's been done better now, but back in the 90s, this was so much fun to watch. So Under Siege 2, it's a good one. It's Steven Seagal on a train. And the other guys on the train, the bad guys, have the nuclear codes. No, not nuclear codes. It's like a satellite. Yeah. Nuclear codes is the first Under Siege. I'm not going to cut any of this out. Let's move on. Next up, we have Unhinged. What happens when you cut off a stranger in traffic? Unhinged happens. Stars Russell Crowe, and this is actually a movie I haven't watched. I just know all of that from the previews, because when this movie came out, it was like on every YouTube ad. I don't know why, but I picked it up because I was like, you know what? It might be a fun time. It's Russell Crowe, so I now own Unhinged. Next up, we have Dawn of the Dead. I have watched this once before. It's Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. I really like Zack Snyder's work for the most part. His Rebel Moon movies have not been a hit for me, but I did enjoy Dawn of the Dead. I now own it on Blu-ray. Next up, we have the movie Yesterday. It's a cool concept. It's about a guy who hits his head, and when he wakes up, he's in a world that doesn't have the Beatles. Admittedly, I haven't watched this, just sort of filling out the collection. It's an interesting concept to me. I have to be in the right mood, though, to watch something like this. It's going to be a lot of music in it. So I do want to check this out. Just haven't done it. But anyway, he wakes up in a world that doesn't have the Beatles, and then he writes all the Beatles songs and becomes famous for it. There, I've now finished the synopsis in between the fact that I haven't watched it yet. So I will watch it eventually. Next up, guys, we have The Vanishing. The Vanishing stars Gerard Butler, and this is a movie about a couple of guys that find a shipwrecked boat on an island that is full of gold, and then mysterious things start to happen. It's not a horror movie. I think it's more of a thriller. I haven't seen it. It's probably a low-budget movie. It's probably why I haven't even heard of it, but I'm hoping it's a good time, one I'm really looking forward to watching. Next up, guys, we have another movie that I have not watched. Look, some of the movies in here I haven't watched. Some of them I have. Calm down. But the next one up is The Babadook. Now, this is a movie I actually really want to watch. I have grown to enjoy what's known as elevated horror. Just artistic horror is really what it is, and that's what I hear this is. I haven't watched it yet, but it is a movie that the reason I haven't watched is because I told my wife back when we were dating, hey, this is a really scary movie, you should check it out, you like scary movies. So she watched it and she was like, hey, I hated it. And I was like, dodged that bullet. It's a tactic that I used to use. I would just tell people, hey, you should check that movie out, and then when they'd get back to me and they'd be like, it's great or it's bad, I'd just take their word for it. I'm not proud of who I was, but the point is, The Babadook is a movie I now own. I do plan on watching it and maybe savoring the flavor for the Halloween season since it is a horror movie. We'll see. Now, we are almost done with the movies I haven't seen. We're getting there. The next one up is The Wall. The Wall stars Aaron Taylor Johnson and John Cena, two actors that I'm a huge fan of. I think they are both really fun to watch on screen. Now, this movie is about them as soldiers in Iraq stuck behind some wall that is quickly coming down, and they are fending off terrorists. And just to me, that's everything I want in a soldier movie. We got this lone survivor style movie. You've got a couple actors that I'm a big fan of, and they're trying to get out of a bad place. I mean, it says everything I want, so I'm hoping it is just that. I'll let you guys know when I finally watch it. Next up, we have The Illusionist, and this movie came out at the same time as The Prestige, and while I think The Prestige is a better movie, this one's got some fun actors in it with Edward Norton, Jessica Biel, and Paul Giamatti. It's a good time, I recommend. Next up, we have From Hell. This stars Johnny Depp and Heather Graham, and actually it's a movie I haven't watched yet. So almost, I think that's it. I think everything else I've seen in this stack. So From Hell. I do look forward to watching this too. Again, a couple of horror movies in here that I may wait on till the spooky season, which for me starts in August. Next up, we have The Interview. The Interview is a movie that sparked controversy when it first came out because it's about two dudes played by Seth Rogen and James Franco back when they were still friends. And now they're not, apparently. They're not friends in Hollywood anymore. But back when they were friends and they were in each other's movies all the time, they started a movie called The Interview, where they had a plan to go to North Korea and take out the dictator. However, when North Korea heard about this, man, they called in all kinds of nonsense to the U.S., saying that this was quite possibly an act of war, like all kinds of craziness. And so I remember there were people that were going to see the movie because we're the US, we're going to see movies. There were other people that were like, I'm not going to the theater because who knows what's going to happen. And I fell somewhere in the middle there. I was like, I'll catch it on Blu-ray because I don't really care. It is a fun movie though. I had a fun time with it. The whole They're Peanut Butter and Jealous, it's still funny to me. I don't know why. It's still funny. Next up, we have a movie called Molly's Game, and Molly's Game is the same movie that Hollywood makes every couple of years that has to do with casinos or poker or blackjack. It's the same movie. They just switch around some of the characters. Although I hear this is based off a true story, and I hear that they're like the guy who's sort of an asshole in the movie is actually Tobey Maguire, and that sparked a bunch of controversy when it first came out. But I had a fun time with Molly's Game. Again, you could pretty much pop in any of the every couple of years Hollywood feeding the Vegas machine about a couple dudes who strike it rich, or in this case, a woman who gets in too deep, but she somehow gets out at the end. So Molly's Game. Next up, we have This Is the End, another movie where James Franco and Seth Rogen were still friends. But this one's got all the classics from that era. Again, I think this was their last one where they were all together, and then, well, you see it now. Seth Rogen's still got a big name, but you don't see much of these guys anymore. Next up, we have Reservoir Dogs, the Mondo Steelbook. Now, this is a Blu-ray. It's not the 4K, but I just couldn't pass this case up. Check this out. This case is awesome. And then you've got, it says Reservoir Dogs on the inside. Reservoir Dogs is a fantastic movie. The whole scene at the beginning of the movie where they're talking about tipping and not tipping, I love that, and I use that in life. Next up, we have Fan 4 Stick. I don't know why I own this, but I do. I own Fan 4 Stick now. I can't tell you why I bought it. I just did. I was like, I need a sixth movie to make the deal work. Disc replay, Fan 4 Stick. It's happening. So now it's going to sit on my shelf, probably never to be watched. Next up, guys, we have True Lies on 4K. Now, this is special because True Lies is a piece of media that skipped Blu-ray completely. I mean, you could probably get a burned copy somewhere, but it was on DVD, and then it went straight to 4K. Well, 4K on Blu-ray, but it for a period was not available on Blu-ray. It was never made for Blu-ray. It was made for 4K and Blu-ray. Now, but it never made that transition to Blu-ray, which blew my mind. This is, of course, a fantastic movie starring Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis. I've watched it several times, have a fun time with it every time, and I highly recommend it. Also, I'm looking forward to watching the 4K transfer. Haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure it's better than the DVD that I used to own. All right, guys, next up, we have another James Cameron movie updated to 4K, and that is Aliens. We got word last year that we were going to get True Lies, which I was hyped for, and then Aliens, which I had on Blu-ray, but I was excited to get the 4K, and The Abyss, which I've never been a huge fan of, so I do have it on Blu-ray back there, but didn't feel the need to upgrade to 4K. Aliens is a fantastic movie. Again, another movie I'm looking forward to watching the 4K transfer on, although Cameron does like tint everything blue for whatever reason, but I'm still looking forward to it. There are 9 movies left to talk about, but first, Pure Leaf Tea. They don't sponsor me, but they should. Okay, let's move on. We have The Bourne Identity on Steelbook, The Bourne Supremacy on Steelbook, and The Bourne Ultimatum on Steelbook. Now, I do already own all these on Blu-ray, and this is just another Blu-ray copy of these, so this isn't the 4K, but the Steelbooks were too cool to pass up. I love the look of these. I've got a few that's sort of in this wheelhouse where it kind of looks like a comic book on the front cover. I think these look awesome. They're going to look great on my shelf, so the only thing that bothers me is the Bourne Identity is a blue spine, and these two have orange spines, and I don't know why they did that, but there they are. Moving on, guys, we have Hell or High Water. When Best Buy decided to shoot themselves in the foot and to sell all of their stock to Walmart, Walmart was like, hey, we'll sell it for cheaper than they were overselling it for. So I don't remember exactly what I bought this for, but it was pretty cheap. I now own Hell or High Water, my favorite movie from 2015, on Blu-ray and 4K. This is a really cool looking book as well. And this is just, again, another thing that bothers me about Best Buy sort of stepping down from the Steelbook game, because they legitimately had the best covers. Look, this is the sheriff and his sunglasses, and you pull it off and you've got Chris Pine and his brother there. I love this movie, a movie about a couple of brothers robbing banks to pay off that same bank from a scam that bank did to their mom. So it's got layers to it. It's a fantastic movie. Jeff Bridges gives one of my favorite performances in it. I just love this thing. So Hell or High Water on 4K Steelbook, which is nice to finally have. Next up, another 4K Steelbook, and this will complete my Steelbook collection of the Halloween trilogy, or the latest Halloween trilogy, I should say, Halloween Kills. No, I do not want to talk about how much I spent on this, but it's worth it. Here we go. You've got Michael Myers on the front and the back. Yeah, and the back, because Jamie Lee Curtis is on the inside. Second Jamie Lee Curtis movie we're talking about here today, but she's awesome. Okay, so Halloween Kills. I had a fun time with this movie. I actually had a better time watching it because it was back in 2021 when renting out a theater was pretty cheap. And so a family member of mine rented out a theater for my birthday and let me bring as many friends as I want. I felt like I was a kid again. I was like, I can bring all my friends. So I brought up like 20, 30 people. We all sat down and we watched Halloween Kills together. And it's not my favorite Halloween movie in the franchise. The killing is incredible though, but it's not my favorite movie in the franchise. But I just had a fantastic time watching it for the first time. It's something special, something that I'm reminded of every time I look at this. And again, this Steelbook is just so cool. And I now have all of the Halloween Steelbooks from the newest trilogy. Moving on, guys, we have Brotherhood of the Wolf. Now, I haven't seen this movie, but my buddy Alex Leba, he was like, hey, I've got a couple of movies here. Do you want any of them? And one of them was Brotherhood of the Wolf. And I recently saw Cody Leach talk about this movie in his 31 on 31. Cody Leach and his Autop Stream guys are awesome. I love watching their content. They inspire me every single day. But Brotherhood of the Wolf is a movie I'm looking forward to watching. I heard it's not quite a werewolf movie, more of a wolf movie, but still fun. And so if those guys enjoyed it, if those guys talked about it, I want to check it out at some point. And so Brotherhood of the Wolf is now something in my collection, thanks to my good buddy Alex Leba. And I'm going to show you guys here, he gave me a Brotherhood of the Wolf poster because Alex just has stuff like this. Who has this? Alex Leba does. And so when I told him, yeah, I'll take that Brotherhood of the Wolf Blu-ray, he was like, cool, here's the poster. So I got them both. Thank you, Alex. You are awesome. Speaking of my buddy Alex Leba, he actually gave me the last couple movies we are going to talk about here today. So moving on to the next one, we have Saw on 4K, which honestly, it's so cool to have this. It's another one of those Best Buy Steelbooks that looks like a TV screen. And there you go. You've got Jigsaw inside the TV screen. Not one I would have picked up or ever purchased just because I already own it on Blu-ray. And Saw is supposed to be really gritty. It's supposed to look really dingy. And so upgrading to 4K, I was like, well, what's really the point? But again, he was like, hey, I got a couple movies here. Pick any of them out that you want. I picked this one out as well. So I now own Saw on Steelbook, and it's a cool Steelbook. It really is. Next up, guys, we have 12 Angry Men. Now, I did own this once on DVD, but a coworker of mine borrowed it and never returned it. And like Jesus Christ, I forgive, but I never forget. But it's okay. I was like, oh, well, that was my copy, and now it's gone forever. But again, Alex came through, and he gave me the 12 Angry Men Criterion Collection edition, and I'm very excited to have this. Now, the last Blu-ray that we are going to talk about, guys, is something that is incredibly special to me. It's one of the coolest pieces in my entire collection. It might be my favorite thing in my collection, and that is Nightcrawler. But not just any version of Nightcrawler. This is signed by the one and only John Flickinger. Now, if you know anything about John, or if you've been following his channel for a long time, John Flickinger is an awesome YouTuber, probably the best movie reviewer, you could say, on YouTube. He's just fantastic. Lately, he does a bunch of live episodes, but his vlog videos are so damn good, whether they're just funny or informative or just him having a good time, and they're so entertaining to watch. He is one of the biggest reasons I created my YouTube channel, and John Flickinger signed this copy of Nightcrawler for me. It says, "To Mike, steady hands, John Flickinger," and it's just, again, the coolest thing. Oh, and if you want proof that he signed it, Alex told me it was okay to clip this from his recent vlog video, so there it is.
I want you to sign this copy of Nightcrawler. So, okay, so this is actually for my friend Michael Weir. He makes YouTube videos, movie reviews, Blu-ray updates. He kind of reminds me of you.
He's a cynical asshole, or?
He's you, but except just not a cynical asshole.
Oh, well, then that wouldn't be me.
You know what? That's a good point. I'm joking, John. You're not a cynical asshole.
I know. It's a facade.
He makes great content. I'd say put to Michael. He said that it was you who was a big inspiration behind him making videos and stuff. But
was it?
Yeah. I'll link you his channel though. Like, he actually does make really good content.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'll check it out. I put "To Mike, steady hands."
That's right. That's him signing my copy. And again, he is the coolest fucking dude on YouTube. And just to have this copy signed by him means the world to me. So, not that he needs it, but if you haven't watched John Flickinger, go check him out. But if you're here watching me, you probably already know about him. With that said, though, guys, that is my entire updated Blu-ray collection. I appreciate all of you who clicked on the video. I appreciate all of you who watched the entire video. But it's not just about my collection, it's about yours as well. And I would love to know what you have picked up since the last time that I did a Blu-ray collection update. So let me know in the comment section down below what new Blu-rays or 4Ks or even DVDs that you've added to your collection. Maybe you're a VHS collector. Let me know what you picked up down below. And finally, guys, if you like this video and you want to watch more, don't forget to hit that like button because it helps the video. It helps the channel, and it helps me right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. All right, guys, we got to the end of my Blu-ray collection update video. Just realized that the camera sort of slowly went down during the video. Wonder if anybody else will pick that up. I'm going to fix it. And there it is. Not much better. But with that said, though, guys, if you want to check out any of the other content on my channel, maybe you like this Blu-ray collection update video, well, I've got all of my Blu-ray collection update videos right there, and I've got all of my 2024 movie reviews right there.